When you're a new YouTuber starting out, if you're like I was, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is check your YouTube stats. I don't know why we do this to ourselves, but I would always check to see how many subs I gained, how many views I got, and then I would hesitantly, and I mean very hesitantly, check my comments. And this is where your day can go sideways really quick. It's so easy to get caught up here, and what I would find that in those comments would determine whether I'm going to go back to sleep for a few more peaceful minutes or whether I'm wide awake with my heart racing and I'm kind of done for the day. So don't be like me. Hey, I'm Dee Dee, and I want to talk about your comment section today. And I'm going to show you how to handle every type of commenter, the good, the bad, and the truly bizarre, so you can have the good day that you were meant to have. Because as we all know, comments have a way of going straight to our heart, sometimes in a good way and sometimes not so good. And I learned how to deal with this early on in my channel, and it saved my sanity. And I came up with a little bit of a naming system. There's categories for each type of person who shows up in your comments, and once I identify those, they've lost their power over me. So let me introduce you to the 5 types of commenters you're going to meet and what to do with each one of them. So number 1 is the Slimy Salesman. I know it's not a very nice name, but you know this person. You just posted a heartfelt video about overcoming something you've been through, and here comes this comment that says, "Great video, and if you want to 10x your channel, check out my growth system." Or one of my favorites, "I help creators just like you get monetized fast. Click the link below." And just last week, somebody left a comment on one of my videos that said, "I love your energy," with a big heart emoji. And I was about to reply and say thank you when I noticed that they had dropped a link for their coaching program. These people don't watch your videos. They don't care about your content. They're just spamming every channel they can find, hoping that somebody desperately will click. And unfortunately, sometimes people do. So here's how to handle this one. I usually just leave it there. I may even comment and say something like, "Thanks for the engagement," because at this point, they know what you've done. Engagement helps increase YouTube awareness, and that's a good thing. YouTube doesn't know whether the comments are good or bad, so to them, they're all good. And most people in your comments know what they're doing. Now, if they put a link in my video, I'm definitely deleting that because I don't want my viewers to get scammed. So number 2, this is the Constructive Criticizer. Now this one gets a little bit tricky because at first glance, you might feel like they're being mean, but most of the time they're really not. When I first started on YouTube, I didn't use a mic, and my voice naturally is very low. And I started getting comments like, "Your audio is terrible." Sometimes I would even have one that would say, "I love your channel, but I can't hear you, so I can't watch." That's not being mean. That's just helping you figure things out. And you need to take this criticism and use it. I mean, really look at yourself in the mirror and say, is what they're saying really true? Maybe I could use some work in this area. Because this criticizer actually watched your video. They have a real point, and then it stings a little bit, but they're not being cruel, they're just being honest. So they say things like, "I love this topic, but the music was really distracting." Great information, but it took you 3 minutes to get to the point. And I know sometimes our first reaction is to get defensive because you've worked so hard on your video, but they were right. My mic was not great. And once I fixed it, my videos got better. And if I've learned anything in my lifetime, I have learned one thing, and that's how to read people. Now, when people are sitting across the desk from me or standing across from me, I can usually tell how they mean things. Even though maybe they don't frame it in the right way or say it in the right way, I can usually tell that they don't mean any harm. That is much harder to do when you're talking about online and in a comment section. You really have to use your discernment here and figure out what they're actually trying to say and whether it's hurtful or not. But always take it as feedback. So when I read the comments, if I feel like they meant well, whether or not they actually did, I'm going to take it that way because it's better for my sanity. Then you're going to feel good about knowing you acted in a way that fits you. Now here's the key. You need to be able to tell the difference between somebody who's trying to help and somebody who's trying to hurt. And here's how you tell that difference. Real feedback mentions something very specific from your video. It offers a suggestion or points out something that's really concrete. It feels like it's coming from a place of wanting you to succeed when you can actually do something about the information. Now, a red flag would be if somebody attacks you personally. not your content, with vague negativity and no actionable points. Or they make you feel small instead of motivated, and it feels mean-spirited, not constructive. And there are those kind of people out there, and we're going to talk about those in a minute. And if you can't tell what kind of comment this is, why don't you just wait 24 hours before responding? Don't just snap right back. If it still feels hurtful tomorrow, and if it still makes you feel bad, then it's probably a troll pretending to be constructive. Just either hide the comment or delete it. So let me talk about hiding the user and what's the difference between hide the user and deleting their comment. When you hide the user, they don't know that you've done this. They can still watch your videos, they can still comment on your videos. It's just they're the only ones that can see your comments. When you delete a comment, they actually get notified that you've deleted their comment. So sometimes I just hide the viewer from my channel. Doesn't hurt you. But if it's real feedback, thank them seriously. And you don't have to agree with every piece of feedback, but acknowledging it shows your audience that you're listening, and that builds trust, and that'll keep them coming back. And you could always say something like, thanks for pointing that out. I'll keep that in mind for the next one. And then actually consider it. Not every piece of feedback needs to be implemented, but some of it really does. It's gold. Okay, number 3, this is all of our favorites, I'm sure, is the keyboard warrior. And this one used to ruin my whole morning, but we all know these people. These are the comments that are just mean. They're personal, sometimes they're creepy, sometimes they're even cruel for no reason. Like, your voice is annoying, why do you talk so slow? Or worse, there's comments that I've gotten that I can't even repeat here. And I'll never forget a comment that I got way early on. Somebody said that my content was silly and pointless and that I should quit before I embarrassed myself. And then he went on to say that I have a fake Southern girl accent. Well, this one really hurt. I'm from the South. It's all I know. But looking back now, I can see how ridiculous it was. But in that moment, it really hurt my feelings. But here's what I finally figured out. These people are not your audience. They're not even trying to be helpful. They're just miserable, and they're leaving a little piece of that misery in your comment section. So let me tell you a little story here that'll prove my point. Not too long ago, my husband and I were in Las Vegas, and we were in an Uber, and we were talking about YouTube and making videos, and the driver spoke up and he said, you know, when I get off work every day, I like to go home and get on my computer and poke fun at people in their comments. I'm like, why would you do that? And he goes, it's fun, especially when they react. I mean, I just couldn't believe that somebody would actually do that. And he seemed like such a normal, very nice guy. He said, yeah, but I like to say things that will make them upset, and then we get into an argument on their channel. This makes no sense. I don't understand it. But either way, I just feel like this is ridiculous. You don't need to even give a little part of your day to these. I would delete them, block them, don't reply, whatever you want to do here. But I know it's tempting to defend yourself and clap back with something witty. But engaging these people is exactly what they want. It's like wrestling with a pig. You both get dirty, but the pig likes it. So just remove them and protect your peace. You don't owe them a response, and you don't owe them any space in your day. Number 4 is your vulgar commenters. I'm really not going to say much here because I don't want to give anyone credit for ever rattling my cage. It doesn't happen very often, but every now and then you get a comment that's borderline harassment, or at least I do. You can report these comments, and I would, and I do. So moving on. This is the best one of them all. This is number 5. You're a super fan, and this person makes everything we do worth it. They don't just leave a generic great video and disappear. They're engaged and they're thoughtful. They've clearly watched the whole video. Like, they say something like, this is exactly what I needed to hear today. I've been struggling with this for months, and your explanation finally made it click. I've watched all your videos, and this one might be my favorite. And then they break it down and tell you why. I had somebody comment the other day that they had been binge watching my channel while their mom was in the hospital. They said that my voice helped them feel less alone during the hard time. What an amazing feeling knowing that I had this kind of impact on somebody, and somebody I didn't even know. These are your people. They're not just consuming your content, they're connecting with you. And so what do I do with these comments? I reply every time, even if it's just, thank you so much, this made my day. But let them know that you see them. These comments are the ones that you screenshot and save for the hard days, because there will be hard days, and then you'll need to remember why you started. And these people are why you started. Superfans don't just watch your videos, they actually root for you, and you need to treat them like the treasure that they are. And then these fans will start coming to your rescue in the comments. they'll pop back really quick on those rude comments for you. It's so fun to go into comments and see somebody has left something mean or rude, and to see one of your viewers to actually take up for you and come to your rescue. It's really just an amazing feeling. It's like they're going to battle for you. They're giving them the business. These people, they're the ones, they're going to click on your links. They're going to buy your products and join your community and be with you until the very end. This is who you do this for. So always think about them when you're making your videos. How can you help them today? Now, here's the part that nobody talks about. I could sit here all day long and tell you to ignore the trolls and delete the spam and focus only on the good comments. But I know it's not that simple because we're all human. And sometimes the negative stuff, it's gonna get to you. And that's okay. Here's what I do when a comment gets under my skin. First, I actually don't check the comments first thing in the morning anymore. I check them after I've had time to get awake and get started with my day. And that way, if something negative shows up, I've already had a good start. I'm not letting a stranger on the internet set the tone for my whole morning. Second, I give it a limit, a time limit. I take about 10 to 20 minutes to respond to comments, and then I'm done for a while. Otherwise, I may spiral out of control. But most of my comments are exceptionally good. But if I get a negative one, I give myself time to process it before I move on. And I don't keep going back to it. Third, I have a folder on my phone full of screenshots. Good comments, kind messages of people telling me how my videos helped them. And when I get a comment that really hurts, I just go back and read some of those. And I remind myself why I'm doing this. Here's another trick. Now, if you are feeling anxious about what might be waiting for you in the comments, ask yourself this question. Will reading this right now help me create better content or show it better for my audience? Am I in the right place to read this comment? And if the answer is no, don't look. Your mental health matters more than that comment sitting out there. And here's what I want you to take away from this. Your comment section is not a reflection of your worth. That slimy salesman and that keyboard warrior, they don't matter. They are not your people. The constructive criticizers, they're helping you get better, even if it doesn't feel like it. And your super fans, they're the reason you keep going. So don't let the trolls ruin your morning. Don't let spam clutter your space. And don't let fear of negative comments keep you from checking in with your real audience. Because the people that actually matter are in your comments, and they're paying attention to how you respond, and they're waiting for you to respond to them. So if you want more on building a channel that attracts the right people and the ones that actually stick around and engage, watch this next video where I talk about creating that consistent feeling that brings viewers back. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.